Hi.
Hi.
So we are back again,
Yes.
and why we are today for this podcast?
So today's podcast is very important. Like we have been, into this industry for more than a decade now. और जो आज हमारा टॉपिक है वो है इट्स प्राइमरीली फोकस ऑन कॉरपोरेट इंटरव्यूज़.
Yeah. So most of you think that doing interviews is sort of a very boring thing, because you don't get proper locations, you don't get proper time. But let me tell you, there are certain ways you can certainly improve your interviews, make it more appealing, more cinematic, and impress your customers. Okay, so it's all about finding creativity in whatever you have, whatever best possible way. Okay, so without wasting time, let's jump in.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, the first thing that you should do is when you arrive at the location, because in most of the cases, location is not fixed. You arrive at the office and
Right.
the chairman or the MD suggests, okay, it has to be done there, his favorite boardroom, or it has to be done in front of the reception. Maybe he has a favorite facade in the background, or maybe he wants to do it in front of his building. Okay,
Right.
rare occasions, but that also happens. So whatever location is provided to you, just take the camera in hand and do the framing, identify the frames that are possible. Okay, so you need to see which frame looks good and which frame will give good separation from the background. Okay, so that is most important. So you need to see where you're getting proper look with separation, and also in the background things are not too much cluttered, disturbing
Right.
the main focus of the video. Okay.
And if we can also get some brand, something regarding with the brand in the framing, that's natural, not
Correct.
So that also adds value to that framing.
Yeah, so you've selected the frame, you'll get the separation over here. So you fix the camera on the tripod once the frame has been finalized, and then work on improvising that frame. Okay, like Vidushi said, your frame has been finalized, you can add some mementos, you can add some props, some RGB lighting effect in the background, sober, minimalistic, not too much disturbing. Okay.
Right.
Some photo frames, so something in the background, most likely it will be in blurred
Right.
manner that will appear in the video, but yes, you can improvise it, and then you're done. Okay, the framing part is done. Now always one day before the interview, you should tell your customer what kind of dress he or she has to wear. It should not be very too much white, not too much black, or some shiny thing, or something which has some checkered or repeated pattern which causes jitter in the camera. Also watches and ornaments that create too much noise should be avoided. Eyeglasses can be avoided if possible, otherwise it's okay. Right, so all these things you need to tell them, and also you need to tell them to carry a backup dress. Okay,
Right.
so your frame is set. Okay, you have finalized the props and everything, the background lighting, the dress is finalized. Okay, now check the audio, set up the audio. Okay, so audio, always go for a two-way backup plan. The primary audio can be your wireless lapel mic, it can be a Rode wireless Go, or a DJI mic. Okay, or you can have a shotgun mic attached from the top, right above the head, or you can go for a zoom recorder. Okay, so minimum 2. If you want to have 3 backup plans, then it's also okay, but don't rely on single audio source. Right now, all this is done. The final thing is you need to test the camera settings. The camera settings should be proper. If you're shooting on 25 frame, then the shutter speed should be 50. Check for white balance, the aperture. Use a sweet spot of 2.8. If you want too much of background bokeh, then you can go for a lower number, like you have 1.8 or 2. Okay, but 2.8 is a safe side, right? So do all the check for the Kelvin, color, temperature, everything. Do the settings. Also make sure that use your crew to do all the settings, because when you're shooting interview of a CXO level person, chairman, MD or director level person, they're busy people, so they'll not give you too much of time. So you cannot do too much of testing while they're sitting over there. So get everything ready before that, right? Okay, so now just record the final test video using your crew. Just check it once, and then you are ready to call the customer, right? One more thing you can do is, most of the time the reception or the conference rooms are pretty much boring, so you can carry some backdrops. What do you suggest, Vidushi?
Yeah. So that adds an extra value to it.
Yeah.
Because usually in offices the boardrooms are quite boring only. So the white walls or some brandings. So yes, if we carry a backdrop or something in a backdrop,
like a wall with some brick architecture,
yeah, so
to add more creativity,
Yeah.
or something. There are lots of backdrops available on Amazon,
right.
so you can carry that. Maybe you'll get an option to implement that. So it's always better to carry some more hardware options, equipment,
with
right?
Right.
So that's all. Anything else, Vidushi, you want to suggest? Like,
No, nothing. As already we have discussed what all camera settings, what all framing is required, and yes, of course, with the camera settings, we also need to have a multi-cam setup, like one with a tight, one with a wide shot, front angle shot, and one with a side angle shot.
Correct. So always carry. Always do interviews with 2 camera setup, rightly said by Vidushi, because there are 2 to 3 reasons for it. One, you have backup plan, you have side footage as well for the editing in case there's some goof up in the main camera. Okay, the main camera should be little wide and the side camera should be little tight. Example, main you can use a 24mm lens, and for the side you can use a 40mm or 55mm or an 85mm lens. Okay, now the second benefit of using a second camera will be during the editing, there are chances of implementing a jump cut.
Right.
So I think Vidushi can talk on that, the benefit.
Yeah, because if we have 2 angles for the same person, for an CXO level person, so it add dynamics to the video. First of all, if there's a particular phrase or a motto of that company or a vision or some tagline, and he stresses on that particular phrase, then obviously you can use a side angle, and then you can jump onto the wider angle and a zoom shot for that. So this way we can play around on the editing part of it.
Correct. And also third thing is, the side camera is generally closer to the person, so you get another backup sound.
Yeah.
Probably if you have a shotgun mic attached to the camera or the inbuilt mic, that also can come as a rescue if you're just using one single source of sound recording.
Correct.
And the last thing I want to put emphasis on is the lighting. There are too many LED lights available. Also, offices have their own lights, but don't use office lights. Just switch off their lights. Don't use LED lights. Carry your soft boxes, professional soft boxes. Then only you can get, proper skin tone. Okay.
Right.
Go for a proper 3-point lighting. Right. The key light, the main light, the fill light. To create shadow effect. Shoot from the shadow side, and one hair light. Okay, so that there's proper separation from the background, right? So that's all. I think you implement all these things and you'll have a very interesting interview. So interviews are very important, and let's not record them as it is in a boring way. Make them more creative, more cinematic, more interesting, and apply new techniques. It's not about having best of the gear, high-end camera. Whatever cameras you have, whatever soft boxes you have, whatever sound recorders you have, just make use of it and get the best out of it.
Yeah. So that's a more insightful video for today. Like when you have to go for a corporate CXO level interviews and you are a little nervous. So these small tips and tricks, help you in a better way, and it makes your video look more professional, and making your customer happy at the end.
Yeah.
All right. So
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Bye.